My name's Emma, a Denver nurse who raised Noah, my best friend's son, for a decade, thinking his father was a stranger. In a packed courtroom, I stood trembling as the truth unraveled. My husband and his family hid a devastating secret, orchestrating a betrayal that shook my world. Their lies, woven through years of love and sacrifice, threatened to tear Noah from me. This story isn't just about fighting for my son. It's a raw journey of uncovering deception and finding strength in the ashes. The shocking revelations and my stand against those I trusted most will keep you glued to every word. Drop a comment with where and when you're watching from, and hit subscribe to catch more stories of resilience and truth. Stick around to see how I turned pain into power. You won't believe what comes next. A nurse at Denver General Hospital, but let me take you back 10 years, to a night that turned my world upside down. I was 25, fresh off a promotion to head nurse, my scrub still smelling of antiseptic as I collapsed onto my couch in our cozy Denver apartment. Life felt damn near perfect. David, my husband of 2 years, a corporate lawyer with a charming smile, and I were planning to buy a house, maybe start a family soon. That dream shattered when the doorbell rang at 9 p.m., sharp and insistent, cutting through the quiet hum of my TV. I almost ignored it, figuring it was a neighbor or a late delivery, but it rang again, more urgent, so I dragged myself up, muttering under my breath about the interruption. When I opened the door, my heart stopped. There, on my welcome mat, sat a car seat with a tiny baby, barely 3 months old. Wrapped in a thin blanket against the chilly Colorado air, his cheeks were rosy, a wisp of dark hair peeking out, and his little chest rose and fell peacefully. My stomach churned with a mix of shock and dread. Tucked into the car seat was a folded note, the handwriting unmistakable. Rachel, my best friend from college, had scrawled, "I can't do this. Please take him." Rachel, my wild, artistic soulmate from our university days, always chasing dreams and dodging responsibilities. She was rich, some trust fund from her family, but her life was a mess of impulsive choices. I hadn't seen her in months, not since she'd shown up at my wedding, tipsy and promising to visit more. Now this? My hands shook as I scanned the empty street, hoping she'd pop out and say it was a prank. Nothing. Just the hum of distant traffic and the weight of that note in my hand. 7 words that flipped my life like a bad car crash. I brought the car seat inside, my mind racing, heart pounding. The baby, Noah, I'd later learn, slept soundly, unaware his mom had just ditched him. I was pissed, loyal, and terrified all at once. Rachel was my ride or die. We'd shared dorm room secrets and late-night tacos. How could she do this? I grabbed my phone, dialed her number, straight to voicemail. "Rachel, what the hell?" I whispered, my voice breaking. No answer. David came home an hour later, his tie loosened, briefcase in hand. I was still on the couch, staring at Noah, my wine untouched. "What's that?" he said, his voice sharp, eyes wide as he spotted the car seat. I handed him the note, and his face went pale, like he'd seen a ghost. "Don't get dragged into Rachel's mess," he snapped, pacing. "This is her kid, her problem." His anger hit me like a slap. I expected support, not this. "She's my friend, David," I shot back, my chest tight. "I can't just leave him on the street." He muttered something about her damn drama and stormed to the bedroom, leaving me alone with my shock. I called my mother-in-law, Linda, hoping for advice. Big mistake. Linda's always treated me like I'm beneath David, too working class for her golden boy. She answered with her usual cold tone. "You're stupid to take that baby," she said, her words slicing through me. "Rachel's a train wreck. Don't ruin your life over her mistake." I knew she'd once pushed David to date Rachel, back when we were just friends, because of her money. David chose me, and I thought Linda had moved on. Apparently not. "He's a baby, Linda," I said, my voice shaking with anger and hurt. "Not a mistake." She hung up, leaving me feeling small, betrayed by her disdain. I sat there, staring at Noah, My emotions a tangled mess. Shock at Rachel's abandonment clawed at my gut. She was my sister in all but blood, and she dumped her kid on me without a word. Loyalty kept me from calling social services. I couldn't abandon him to the system. Fear gripped me. I knew nothing about babies, and my life was built for charts and IVs, not diapers. But as Noah stirred, his tiny hand curling around my finger, something shifted. My heart softened, a fierce protectiveness blooming despite the chaos. I was pissed at Rachel, hurt by David and Linda, but this kid, he was innocent. That night, I made a makeshift crib from a dresser drawer, lined with blankets, and slept on the floor beside him, waking to his hungry cries. Each wail spiked my panic, but I whispered to him, "I've got you, little guy." My stable world, promotion, marriage, future plans was crumbling, and I felt like I was falling into a void. David's anger, Linda's cruelty, and Rachel's betrayal stung, but Noah's trusting eyes kept me grounded. I didn't know how I'd do this, but I knew I wouldn't let him go. Damn it, I'd figure it out, one terrifying step at a time. Those first months with Noah were like running a marathon with no finish line, every step heavier than the last. I'm Emma, still that 25-year-old nurse at Denver General Hospital, but now I'm also a mom to a baby I didn't plan for, left on my doorstep by my best friend Rachel. I was drowning in diapers, formula, and exhaustion, my heart a tangled mess of love, loneliness, and rage. My cozy Denver apartment, once a haven for David and me, felt like a cramped cage, filled with the constant wail of a 3-month-old and the weight of a life I hadn't signed up for. I'd always been the organized one, charts, schedules, patient care plans, but nothing prepared me for this. Noah's cries pierced the night, each one spiking my panic. I'd fumble with bottles, Googling how to mix formula at 2 a.m., my eyes burning from lack of sleep. I was terrified I'd screw it up, that I wasn't enough for him. But when he'd quiet down, his tiny hand gripping my finger, my heart would melt. "You're stuck with me, kid," I'd whisper, half laughing, half crying. That love kept me going, even as everything else fell apart. David, my husband, was a ghost. He'd come home late from his law firm, tie undone, barely looking at Noah. "I'm swamped with cases," he'd say, but his coldness cut deeper than his excuses. I felt abandoned, my chest aching with loneliness. We'd been so in love, planning date nights, dreaming of a house in the suburbs, but now he'd snap if I asked for help. "This is Rachel's mess, Emma," he'd say, his voice sharp. "You chose this." His words stung like hell, making me feel like I was betraying him by loving Noah. I'd lie awake, wondering where my supportive husband went, my heart heavy with doubt. Linda, my mother-in-law, was worse. She'd drop by our apartment unannounced, her designer purse clutched like a shield, her eyes scanning the cluttered space with disdain. "You're ruining David's life with that baby," she'd say, her voice dripping with judgment. "You should have called social services." Her words were like knives, slicing into my already fragile confidence. I knew she'd once pushed David to date Rachel, back when we were just friends, because of her trust fund. I thought that was ancient history, but Linda's snide comments, like Rachel would have handled this better, made me clench my fists. I was pissed, but I swallowed it, too tired to fight her. "He's my family now, Linda," I'd say, my voice shaking, holding Noah closer to shield him from her coldness. Work was another battlefield. I'd been a rising star at the hospital, but I had to cut my hours to part-time to care for Noah. My promotion to head nurse, gone. My colleagues started whispering, "Emma's the nurse with the kid drama," and their pitying looks made my skin crawl. My boss, Dr. Susan Hayes, was relentless, piling on extra shifts and snapping. "You're slipping, Emma. Focus." I was furious at the unfairness, but I needed the job. Every paycheck went to formula, diapers, and rent, stretching my budget to the breaking point. I felt like I was failing everyone, Noah, my patients, myself, but I'd force a smile, telling myself I could handle it. I tracked down a lead on Rachel through a mutual friend. She was in Seattle, living it up with her wealth but spiraling into addiction, unreachable. I was livid. How could she dump her kid and disappear? My loyalty to her, forged over years of late-night talks and shared secrets, felt like a betrayal of my own heart. I kept a photo of us from college on my fridge, but looking at it made my stomach twist with anger. Still, I couldn't bring myself to hate her completely. She was a mess, and Noah needed me. Mrs. Carter, my neighbor, became my lifeline. A retired teacher with a warm smile. She'd watch Noah when I worked late, teaching me how to soothe his colic with a gentle sway. "You're doing good, honey," she'd say, her kindness a balm to my frayed nerves. But David's distance grew. He'd stare at Noah sometimes, his face tight with something I couldn't read. Guilt, maybe? I thought he was just resentful of the chaos. "Can you at least hold him?" I'd beg, exhausted. He'd shake his head, muttering about work, leaving me to handle the sleepless nights alone. My heart ached, but I pushed it down, focusing on Noah. Linda's visits were torture. She'd stand in my doorway, arms crossed, commenting on the mess of toys and bottles. Rachel was always more suited for David, she'd say, her tone icy. She had class. I wanted to scream. Class didn't change diapers or love a kid through fevered nights. Her words fueled my insecurity, but they also lit a fire in me. "Noah's not going anywhere," I'd snap, my voice fierce despite the tears prickling my eyes. When Noah said mama for the first time, his big eyes locked on mine, I felt a surge of love so strong it drowned out the pain. I wasn't just surviving, I was his mom, damn it. Every day was a grind, but Noah's giggles, his tiny hands reaching for me, kept me going. I'd sing to him in the dark, my voice cracking, promising to be enough. My marriage was crumbling, my career was stalling, and Rachel's betrayal burned, but I clung to Noah like a lifeline. I was exhausted, lonely, and pissed off, but I'd fight for him, no matter how hard it got. 10 years after Noah landed on my doorstep, I'm 35, a coordinating nurse at Denver General Hospital, and life with my now 10-year-old is a beautiful chaos. Noah's a bright spark, obsessed with robotics, always tinkering with circuit boards in our Denver apartment. I'm proud as hell, but the grind of being his mom, working long shifts, and keeping our little world spinning has left me stretched thin. My marriage with David is a shadow of what it was, and I'm carrying a constant ache of loneliness. Then Rachel, my best friend who ditched Noah a decade ago, walks back into my life, and the ground shifts again, stirring up a storm of suspicion and hurt that makes my blood boil. I'm in the hospital break room, sipping lukewarm coffee, when my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number. "Emma, it's Rachel. I'm back in Denver. Can we talk?" My heart lurches, a mix of shock and anger flooding me. Rachel, the artist who vanished after leaving her baby with me, is back? I stare at the screen, my fingers trembling. Part of me wants to scream, "Where the hell have you been?" But curiosity, and maybe a flicker of old loyalty, wins out. I agree to meet her at a downtown cafe, my gut churning with unease. I still think Noah's dad is some random guy she hooked up with, and I'm bracing for her to stir up trouble. At the cafe, Rachel looks like a stranger. Gone are the wild curls and paint-splattered jeans of our college days. She's polished, her hair in a sleek bob, wearing a designer coat that screams money. She's richer now, thanks to an inheritance, and married to Ethan, some tech mogul. "I'm sober," she says, her voice soft but rehearsed. "I want to meet Noah, be part of his life." Her words hit like a punch. I'm wary, my heart pounding with distrust. After 10 years of silence, she thinks she can waltz back. "You left him, Rachel," I say, my voice tight, barely hiding my rage. "I've been his mom. Where were you?" She mumbles about rehab and starting over, but her eyes dart away, and I feel a cold knot of suspicion. Something's off, damn it. Back at the hospital, things are no better. My boss, Dr. Susan Hayes, has been riding me hard, her sharp comments cutting deep. "You're distracted, Emma," she says, during a staff meeting, her tone icy. Motherhood's taking a toll. I'm pissed off, my pride stinging. I've worked my ass off to balance Noah and my job, and her words feel like a slap. Then I overhear a colleague mention that my new patient care protocols, ones I spent weeks designing, showed up at a rival hospital, St. Luke's. My stomach drops. When I check the documents, I see my work, word for word, leaked. I confront Dr. Hayes, who brushes it off, but a quick dig reveals St. Luke's hired Rachel as a consultant for their rebranding. My blood boils. Did Rachel steal my work? I call her, voice shaking. Just helping Ethan with some hospital stuff, she says, all casual. No big deal. Bullshit. I'm furious, feeling betrayed all over again. My trust in her crumbling. David's no help either. He's been distant for years, but lately he's weirder, bringing up Rachel out of nowhere. She's changed, Emma, he says one night, his tone almost wistful. Maybe she deserves a chance with Noah. My heart twists, stung by his words. Why the hell is he defending her? I snap. She abandoned him, David. I didn't. He backs off, but his eyes flicker with something. Guilt? I shake it off, thinking he's just tired of the tension. My pride's bruised, and I'm starting to feel like everyone's turning against me. I'm protective of Noah, my love for him a fierce anchor, but I'm on edge, sensing trouble I can't name. Then Linda, my mother-in-law, makes it worse. She shows up at our apartment, her perfume sharp, her gaze judgmental as she surveys Noah's robot parts scattered on the floor. You're struggling, Emma, she says, her voice dripping with condescension. Rachel was always more suited for David's world. My jaw clenches, anger flaring. I know she wanted David to date Rachel years ago because of her money, but hearing it now hurts like hell. Noah's my son, I say, my voice low, trembling with defiance. This is his home. She sighs, muttering about what could have been, and leaves. I'm left fuming, her words gnawing at my insecurities, but I push them down, focusing on Noah's latest robot sketch taped to the fridge. Every day feels like a fight. At work, Dr. Hayes' scrutiny and the leaked protocols make me feel sabotaged, my confidence shaken. At home, David's distance and Rachel's return stir up old wounds, while Linda's jabs cut deeper. I'm wary, pissed, and protective, clinging to Noah's bright smile as my lifeline. He bounds into the kitchen, showing me a robot he built, and I hug him tight, my heart swelling despite the chaos. I don't know what Rachel wants or why David and Linda are acting strange, but I'll be damned if I let anyone mess with our little family. I'm tired, but I'm not giving up. Life with Noah, my 10-year-old robotics whiz, is the heartbeat of my days, his circuit boards and sketches turning our Denver apartment into a creative haven. Rachel's sudden return after a decade of silence has already rattled me. Her shady consulting at St. Luke's, sabotaging my work at Denver General Hospital, and David's odd defense of her slicing through my trust. Just when I think I'm holding the pieces together, a legal gut punch lands, threatening to tear Noah away. My heart's a war zone. Fear, betrayal, and fierce love collide as Rachel sues for custody. And the people I thought I could lean on turn their backs, leaving me to fight alone. It's a gray evening, Noah sprawled on the living room floor, tweaking a robot's wiring, when the mailbox clanks. I fish out a heavy envelope, its court seal making my throat tighten. My fingers shake as I rip it open, and the words hit like a brick. Rachel's petitioning for full custody, claiming I've unlawfully kept Noah from his biological mother. My breath catches, panic flooding my veins. I've been his mom for 10 years, through late-night fevers, school plays, and robot battles. Now she wants to steal him? I'm seething, my pulse hammering as I clutch the papers. I still think Noah's dad is some fling from Rachel's wild days, and the idea of losing my son makes my chest ache with dread. Like hell she'll take him, I whisper, my voice raw with defiance. I call David, craving his support. He's at his law firm, his voice cold and clipped. Rachel's suing for Noah, I say, my heart racing. She can't do this. There's a pause, heavy as stone. Then he says, maybe Noah's better off with his real mom. My world tilts, his words a dagger to my core. My husband, the man who vowed to stand by me, is choosing her side. What the fuck, David? I choke, tears burning my eyes. I'm his mom, he mutters about Rachel's new life, but his betrayal stings like acid, leaving me reeling. I slam the phone down, my hands trembling, torn between fury and disbelief. How can he turn on us? Desperate for an ally, I visit Linda, my mother-in-law, at her polished suburban house, its manicured lawn mocking my chaos. She opens the door, her gaze sharp as a blade. Rachel's trying to take Noah, I say, my voice quivering. She crosses her arms, smirking. You're clinging to a child that's not yours, Emma, she says, her tone venomous. Rachel's his mother. Her words are a kick to the gut, knocking the wind out of me. I've raised him while she vanished. I snap, my anger surging. She shrugs, saying, Rachel always belonged in David's circle. You should have let her have him. Her fixation on Rachel's wealth, from when she tried to pair her with David years ago, burns my pride. I'm livid, my jaw tight, but her dismissal makes me feel like I'm shrinking. I storm out, my heart raw with hurt. Work turns the screws tighter. At the hospital, Dr. Susan Hayes, my boss, pulls me aside in a sterile hallway, her eyes cold. Your work's faltering, Emma, she snaps. Parenting's no excuse. I'm flagging you for an HR review. My stomach plummets, fear spiking. Losing my job now with a custody fight looming would crush us. I'm enraged at the unfairness. My protocols were stolen, likely linked to Rachel's St. Luke's gig. And I'm the one in the crosshairs? I'm giving my all, I say, my voice unsteady but defiant. But inside I'm crumbling, terrified of the consequences. That night, I spot David hunched over his phone, the screen's glow casting shadows. Who's that, I ask, my gut uneasy. Just a client, he says, but his quick swipe hides Rachel's name. My heart lurches with suspicion. You're texting her, I press, my voice sharp. Just smoothing things over, he mumbles, his eyes dodging mine. His caginess cuts deep, and I'm torn between trusting him and the doubt clawing at me. Is he keeping secrets? I'm too overwhelmed to dig, but the wound festers. I met Sarah, my lawyer, in her book-lined office, draining my savings for her fee. She's steady, her voice calm. Rachel's claim is strong as his birth mother, she says, and my heart sinks, dread coiling tight. But your decade with Noah is your strength. We'll fight. Her resolve kindles a spark of hope, but I'm scared out of my wits, my mind spinning with visions of losing him. I can't let that happen. At bedtime, Noah's curled up with a robot blueprint, his eyes bright. Mom, will you help me finish this for the fair? He asks, his voice full of trust. I hug him tight, my heart swelling with love. Always, buddy, I say, my voice thick. As he drifts off, the weight of Rachel's lawsuit, David's disloyalty, Linda's scorn, and Work's threats crashes down. I'm terrified, betrayed, and wounded. But Noah's my world. I don't know what's behind David's and Linda's actions, but I'll fight like hell to keep my son. The custody battle for Noah, my 10-year-old son, has me on edge, my heart a raw knot of fear and fury. Rachel's lawsuit to take him, David's betrayal in siding with her, and Linda's vicious barbs have left me reeling, fighting to hold on to the life I've built in our Denver apartment. I'm still clinging to the belief that Noah's father is some random guy from Rachel's past. My trust in my husband and best friend shattered but not yet broken. Then my lawyer, Sarah, and a private investigator drop a truth that rips my world apart, turning my pain into a blazing resolve to protect Noah at all costs. I'm in Sarah's office, the air thick with the scent of old coffee and paper. My hands grip the armrests, my stomach churning as the custody hearing looms. Sarah's eyes are steady but intense. We've got leverage, she says, pushing a stack of documents toward me. My pulse races as she reveals Rachel's game. She's not just after Noah. She's using him as a prop for a family values PR campaign for her husband Ethan's tech empire. Worse, She's been feeding my patient care protocols to St. Luke's, the rival hospital where she consults, colluding with my boss, Dr. Hayes, to sabotage my career. My blood surges, anger flaring like wildfire. She's screwing me over at work too, I ask, my voice quivering with rage. Sarah nods, and I feel like I've been punched, my trust in Rachel reduced to ashes. Then Mike, the private investigator, steps in, his weathered face grim. He lays out a folder, screenshots, emails, bank records. That makes my heart plummet. A text from David to Rachel, sent days after Noah's birth, stares up at me. Emma can't know. It'll destroy us. My breath hitches, a cold chill snaking down my spine. Mike's voice cuts through. Noah's your husband's son, Emma, with Rachel. My world fractures, like a mirror smashed underfoot. Noah, the boy I've raised for a decade, is David and Rachel's child. No fucking way, I whisper, my voice breaking. But the evidence is brutal. Photos of David and Rachel together during her pregnancy. Messages plotting to keep me in the dark. I'm gutted, my heart torn open. The betrayal slicing deeper than I thought possible. It gets uglier. Mike shows me Linda's emails to David from before our marriage, urging him to dump me for Rachel's wealth, a ticket to her dream of social prestige. When Rachel got pregnant, she fled, leaving Noah with me, and Linda helped David hide the truth, letting me raise their kid while they lied. That conniving bitch, I hiss, my hands shaking with fury. Linda's cruel comments about Rachel being better suited now burn with new meaning. She wanted David with her moneyed muse, not me. I'm enraged, my chest tight with the weight of their deception, but the pain is a raw wound, bleeding years of trust. I confront David that night in our apartment, Noah asleep with his robot sketches scattered like dreams. David's on the couch, his phone glowing, and I slam the folder down, my voice low but lethal. Noah's your son, I say, my heart pounding. Yours and Rachel's. You let me raise him while you lied. His face crumples, guilt flashing in his eyes. I couldn't tell you, he stammers. I was afraid you'd leave. Afraid? I'm livid, tears streaming as I yell, You fucked my best friend and let me carry your secret for 10 years. He admits he reconnected with Rachel when she returned, drawn back to her like a moth to flame. The betrayal is a knife, twisting deeper. I throw him out, my voice raw, my soul scorched, but resolute. Sarah and Mike dig deeper, unearthing more. Rachel's social media posts gloating about reuniting with her son for Ethan's PR stunt. Payments from Ethan to David to keep him quiet. And Linda's messages pushing David to secure their future. I'm shattered, my heart aching with the depth of their lies. But the pain forges something new. A fierce determination. I'm not just Noah's mom by accident. I chose him every day, through every diaper change and bedtime story. We'll bury them, I tell Sarah, my voice steady despite the tears. My love for Noah a fire that outshines the hurt. I slip into Noah's room, his peaceful breathing a balm to my broken heart. His robot model sits on the nightstand, a symbol of his dreams. I'm devastated, betrayed by the people I trusted most, but Noah's my anchor. I don't know how the court will play out, but this truth has armed me. I'm scared, pissed, and heartbroken, but I'll fight like hell to keep my son, fueled by a love stronger than their lies. The truth about Noah being David and Rachel's son, and Linda's scheme to pair David with Rachel for her wealth, has left me shattered, my heart a raw wound of betrayal. I'm a nurse at Denver General Hospital, fighting to keep my 10-year-old son in our Denver apartment, where his robot sketches are my lifeline. Rachel's custody lawsuit, David's affair, and Linda's lies have pushed me to the edge, but the evidence Sarah and our PI uncovered has given me a fighting chance. Now, in a Denver courtroom, I'm facing the battle of my life. My nerves electric with fear and hope as the truth unravels, exposing the deception that's haunted me for a decade. The courtroom is a cold, imposing space, all polished wood and echoing voices. I'm in a navy blazer, my hands clammy, heart hammering as I sit beside Sarah, my lawyer. Across the aisle, Rachel looks like a polished doll in a soft pink dress, her face a mask of maternal regret. David's beside her, his suit crisp, his jaw tight, avoiding my gaze. Linda sits behind them, her posture rigid, clutching a leather purse like a shield. My stomach churns with fury at their united front, but I force myself to stay calm, my love for Noah a steady flame keeping me grounded. Judge Margaret Ellis, a sharp-eyed woman in her 60s, calls the session to order, her voice firm. We're here to determine custody of Noah Carter, age 10, she says, and my chest tightens, dread coiling like a snake. Rachel testifies first, her voice trembling with practiced emotion. I was young, lost in addiction, she says, dabbing her eyes. But I'm sober now, married, stable. Noah deserves his mother. I'm seething, my nails digging into my palms. Stable? She's using him for a damn PR stunt for Ethan's tech company. Her lies burn, but I hold my tongue, my heart racing with anticipation. David's testimony is a knife to my soul. Emma's done well, he says, his voice flat. But Rachel's his biological mother. It's right for Noah to be with her. My breath catches, betrayal searing through me. How can he stand there, after fathering Noah with Rachel and lying to me for 10 years? Linda follows, her tone dripping with disdain. Emma's struggled as a single parent, she says. Rachel was always meant for David's world. Noah belongs with her. Her words are a slap. Her old scheme to pair David with Rachel's wealth, now a sickening echo. I'm furious, my heart pounding, but Sarah's steady hand on mine keeps me anchored. Then it's our turn. Sarah presents the evidence, her voice clear and cutting. Your Honor, we have proof contradicting the petitioner's claims, she says, handing over a thick folder. My pulse spikes as Judge Ellis flips through it, her expression shifting from neutral to steely. Sarah lays it out. Rachel's manipulation of hospital contracts at St. Luke's to sabotage my career. Her plan to use Noah for Ethan's PR campaign. Text messages proving David's affair with Rachel since Noah's birth. And Linda's emails urging David to choose Rachel for her money. The courtroom hums with tension, and I see Rachel's face pale. David's jaw drop. Linda's eyes widen. I'm trembling. A mix of fear and vindication swirling in my chest. Judge Ellis turns to Rachel, her voice sharp. Ms. Thompson, did you orchestrate this custody bid to bolster your husband's company image? Rachel stammers, her poise cracking. I just wanted my son, she says, but her eyes dart to Ethan, seated in the back. The judge presses. And were you aware of Mr. Carter's affair during your pregnancy? Rachel's silence is damning. David shifts uncomfortably, and Linda stares at her lap, her composure fraying. My heart races, hope flickering as their lies unravel. Noah's testimony, in a private session, is the turning point. Sarah shares his words later. Emma's my real mom, he told the judge, his voice steady. She taught me how to build robots, comes to every school event, and loves me no matter what. My eyes sting with pride, my love for him swelling. The judge's gaze softens as she reviews his statement, and I feel a surge of hope, my fear giving way to resolve. This evidence raises serious concerns about the petitioner's motives and the credibility of her supporters, Judge Ellis says, her voice grave. I'm shaking, my heart a mix of anxiety and anticipation, clinging to the bond I've built with Noah. As the judge calls a recess to review the evidence, I sit there, my emotions a whirlwind, fury at their deception, pride in Noah's words, hope that the truth will save us. I don't know the outcome yet, but I know I'm his mom in every way that matters. I'm scared, pissed, and raw, but I'm ready to fight for my son, armed with the truth that's finally out. The courtroom battle left my heart bruised, but unbowed. The truth about Noah being David and Rachel's son and Linda's scheming betrayal laid bare. I'm a nurse at Denver General Hospital, and my 10-year-old Noah is my world, his robotics passion lighting up our Denver apartment. The evidence Sarah and our PI uncovered, Rachel's PR stunt, David's affair, Linda's push to pair him with Rachel's wealth, turned the tide in court. And now I'm standing on the other side, my soul raw but resolute. The judge's ruling and the new life I'm building with Noah are my victory, a testament to a love stronger than the lies that tried to break us. I'm in the courtroom, my hands trembling as Judge Ellis delivers her verdict, her voice steady over the hum of anticipation. The best interests of Noah Carter are served by remaining with his guardian, Emma Wilson, she declares. The petition for custody change is denied. My breath catches, relief flooding me like a warm tide, tears spilling down my cheeks. I've won. Noah stays with me. Sarah squeezes my arm, her smile quiet but proud. Rachel's face crumples across the aisle. David's jaw tightens, and Linda grips her purse, her eyes averted. The judge grants Rachel supervised visits, a small concession, but her stern glance at Linda and David, "Your actions have undermined this court's trust," fills me with a fierce satisfaction. I'm shaky but elated, my heart soaring with the certainty that Noah's mine. Outside, the Denver sunlight feels like freedom. I pick up Noah from Mrs. Carter's house, where he's been building a robot with her grandson. His eyes search mine, wide with worry. "Am I staying with you, Mom?" he asks, his voice small. I kneel, pulling him close, my heart swelling. "Always, buddy," I say, my voice thick with love. The judge said we're a family, just like we've always been. His grin, bright as a summer day, heals every scar from the fight. I'm still raw from David's and Linda's betrayal, but Noah's hug is my anchor, grounding me in joy. I set boundaries with a steel spine. I call David, my voice cold. "We're done," I say, cutting off his stammered excuses. "Stay away from Noah." Linda gets the same. No more visits, no more jabs. Her protests, "We're his family," fall flat. "You chose lies," I snap, my anger sharp but controlled. I'm hurt, the sting of their deception lingering, but I'm free, my heart lighter with every step away from their toxicity. I move us to a new apartment, a small place with a patch of yard, a fresh start, where Noah's robot sketches cover the walls like dreams. Work becomes my redemption. I confront Dr. Hayes about the stolen protocols, presenting Sarah's evidence of her collusion with Rachel in St. Luke's. Her face pales, and within days, the hospital board promotes me to nurse manager, a role with better pay and hours that let me be there for Noah's school events. The victory feels damn good, my confidence surging as I reclaim my career. I'm proud, my shoulders squared, no longer the nurse scrambling under scrutiny. Noah and I celebrate at a local robotics fair, his latest creation, a tiny rover, winning first place. He beams, holding his trophy, and I'm bursting with pride, my heart full as we cheer with Mrs. Carter and her grandson. Rachel shows up for her first supervised visit, her eyes weary. "I got caught up in Ethan's world," she says softly, an apology that feels hollow. I nod, my guard up, but I let her talk to Noah, watching his cautious smile. She's not his mom. I am. I'm protective. My love for him a fierce shield, but I'm open to a fragile peace for his sake. We plant a garden in our new yard, Noah's small hands digging in the dirt, a symbol of our chosen family. Knowing he's David's son doesn't change a thing. He's mine. Every laugh, every hug. I'm reflective, the pain of betrayal still a dull ache, but it's overshadowed by a profound peace. I've learned my worth isn't tied to those who lied, David, Linda, Rachel, but in the life I've built with Noah, brick by brick, through love and grit. One night, Noah hands me a card, his handwriting scrawled across it. "You're my mom because you chose me, no matter where I came from." I choke up, tears blurring my vision, my heart swelling with a love that's weathered every storm. The journey, Rachel's abandonment, David's affair, Linda's schemes, has tested me, but it's shown me what family means. It's not blood or obligation. It's the choice to love, day after day. I'm stronger than I ever knew. And as Noah and I sit in our garden, dreaming of his next robot, I know we're exactly where we're meant to be. That's my story. 10 years of love, betrayal, and fighting for the family I chose with Noah. It's been a wild ride, and I'm stronger for it. What about you? Have you ever faced a betrayal that tested your heart or found family in unexpected places? Share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear your stories. Thank you for listening, for being part of this journey. It means the world. Come back soon for more stories about what makes us human, what breaks us, and what builds us back up. Until then, keep choosing love no matter what.